What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are doing another XCN OnyxCoin update, right? This is another, I want to call this a hand-holding session, right? Hand-holding with C-Zar. I'm just going to hold your hand and walk you through this one, right? Because this isn't scary. It's like a haunted house, right? But you're with Dad. Dad's holding your hand. It's okay. It's not scary. The mummies jump out of you. I'm not going to let them touch you. Don't worry. We're all going to be fine, okay? We're all going to be fine. We're going on a little stroll down the hill where we're going to take a nice break at the pond. Hop in for a bit, hopefully. Some of us might hop in for a dip, and then we'll go for a rip afterwards. Just out for a rip, are you, bud? I think we are. We're at about 2.35 cents right now, looking like we could get a double bottom. It's possible we could get a double bottom, but this is where I think it's important to look at other indicators, right? First off, we're going to look at the price. The RSI, I think, would be a very obvious indicator that we're going lower. But first, we're going to look at the price from a fib perspective, from a low to a high. Using this indicator here, generally speaking, almost always, okay, whenever you get below the 382 like this, so you found support there, you rejected the 236, and then you get below it, this maneuver, bouncing off the 382, rejecting the 236, getting below the 382 consistently, okay, and you definitely are not showing respect on the 0.5. It's almost always indicative that you go to your golden ratio, of which you got close but you didn't hit it, and that's actually a positive thing. But with this positive thing, like with all positive things, if you take a positive thing and you do nothing with it, that likely turns into a negative thing. So we're going to go lower. Likely we go lower. And what's great about this is it really does set us up for some kind of fake out look where we're just a little bit lower than this low here in this golden ratio at 2.3 to 2.2 cents. That's the area that we've been looking for. But you could go all the way down. You could go down to the 2 cent level at the 786. You could even go a little bit below 2 cents, right? Which I know I've hinted at, but I haven't talked about as much. But just in case we do, this way you're not scared of the imaginary dragons that hop out of you in this haunted house, right? It's just for fun. We're here just for the thrill of it, you guys, okay? It's nothing to be truly afraid of. We could go down to 2.3 cents, a slightly lower low in all definitions, and bounce from there. We could go down to 2.2 cents, bounce from there. It could be somewhere in between. It could be lower. It could be even lower than 2 cents, and we're probably fine. I do not expect that we're going to go to 1.8 cents or lower. I do not expect that to happen. Even if it does happen, I'm not going to crap my pants. This haunted house just got a little bit scarier. Okay, even the dad's impressed, to be completely fair, but in this, using the same kind of metaphor, okay, that I'm using, it's still all part of the paid program, right? Even if things happen that I'm not expecting to happen, even if we go lower, you know, we're at this level here. If I can get rid of these fibs real quick, you can see these lows being connected here, right? Let me try and delete this fib actually. Get this on here. Something that's a little bit more accurate. Yeah, if we were to come down, all we're going to do is touch this line, which is at prior areas of resistance, finding support there, okay? Also, if we take this relative low here, because we'd be going lower than that, low to high here, your 1272, that's my daughter, hi daughter, that's 1272 to the 1414, it's right in the area that you'd expect to bounce at. Literally, there's so much support there. So even if this ride gets a little bumpy, even if we go down the hill a little more than we expect to go, it's nothing to be concerned with. It's something to envy, to wish that you had the opportunity to buy here. If you have dry powder, if you've been looking at XCN, it's the time to throw the hammer down if we go down there. But personally, me speaking, XCN's my biggest bag. I'm looking to buy some more XCN, just a little bit, right? A little short-term play I'm looking to add to. I'm probably going to throw the hammer down with that if we go, to 2.2 cents. I'll probably just buy at 2.2 cents. Maybe even just above there. I actually do expect that the price is going to go down to 2 cents, maybe even just below there. I fully expect and accept that could happen, but I want to get in, so I'm going to get in at 2.2 cents. I'm fine with getting in at 2.2 cents, and listen to what I was just talking about, right? I was talking about the price going down to 1.5 cents. If you buy here, if you buy at the current price, you need to be okay with the thought of an absolute plummet down to 1.5 cents, 1.4 cents even. It could happen. It could. If you're not okay with that, if you don't accept it as a reality, as a possibility, then if it happens and if you buy here, you're going to sell down here and then you're going to miss the rip back up that brings you back to neutral and beyond, right? So don't play the game. Just get in at a good price, which I think this is a fair price, right? We're from our current relative high. We've seen an overall pullback that was over 60%. Right now from that high, we're down about, what is that? Why can't I can't see. We're down about 52%. It's all good, man. This is a great time to buy. What do you mean? It's at 52. You know what 52% means? That means that to get back to that high, it's a 100% growth, right? Negatives are stronger than positives. Does that make sense, right? Think of it in like a math perspective. If you have $100, you lose 50%. right, you're at $50. But 50 plus 50, that's 100% growth just to get back to neutral, right? Does that make sense? So if you lose 50%, you don't have to gain 50% to get back to neutral. You have to gain 100% to get back to neutral. So when you're seeing a drop that's 50%, in my opinion, anytime that you're at a relative area where you're expecting the price to continue going up, you're in an uptrend, if you're at a 50% drop or more, that's awesome. Your risk management, your risk reward ratio is so incredible, right? You are likely to at least double. If you're expecting higher highs, which I think we all are, you're getting at least double. You're getting more than double if you buy at this price even, right? I'm not trying to entice people to buy at this price, but damn, I almost want to buy at this price and I'm expecting it to go lower. And it's only a little bit lower. It's not that significant, right? But even here, I'm expecting the price to go lower. So I'm just rambling now. I'm just talking about myself, offering some perspective for anybody. Again, the whole purpose of this video is really, it's kind of a hand-holding video, right? I'm here to just let you know it's all going to be okay. It's all going to, whatever this thing throws our way. And again, I personally don't expect that we go down here, but if we do, it's still going to be fine, my friends. Then we're just in a bull flag, and that's totally acceptable. That's actually a good thing. We want bull flags. Bull flags are very bullish. But what I'm more expecting is that we get this 3 peaks where we have a peak there, we have a peak there, and then we're going to have another peak here, and then come back up. If it were to be a peak, though, in the traditional sense, you would expect it to be something like this. You would expect a kind of rather quick dip and then a rip up. I'm not saying that means that it can't just peak and then rip. I'm not saying that that's thrown off, but I will say that how we're interacting right now, it's not how I would have expected, right? Because you dropped in pretty quick. You dropped in pretty quick with these 3 peaks that I'm talking about. If you guys have followed the videos for the past 2 days, this is not characteristic of that. So maybe going down to 1.5 cents isn't so crazy. Maybe it is. Maybe we don't go down there. Again, I'm not considering it. I don't think that that's, or I should say, I am considering it, but I'm not thinking it's the likely outcome. I would suspect that we find support somewhere. I bet we could look at this in another light. Let's look real quick, and then we'll end the video. XCN USD versus others, right? So this is XCN versus others, which essentially is XCN versus the average altcoin. Okay, so altcoins from now, I'm expecting Bitcoin to go a little bit lower, so I think the average altcoin is going to drop. Will XCN drop more, or will it drop less, or will it drop about the same? That's what this chart will hopefully help us determine. If it drops a lot more than the average altcoin, well then yeah, we probably do drop down to 1.5 cents. If it drops about the same or a little bit more, then a drop down to 1.5 cents wouldn't make a whole lot of sense at all. So let's look at this on a daily perspective. Maybe I should flip it around, because for some reason, whenever you put the crypto first versus others, it doesn't put it in log. No matter how much you want it to be in log, it won't log. It won't do it. So I'm going to do others versus XCN instead. I'll explain how this chart works. I'm sure a lot of you are already aware of how this chart works, but I'll explain it for those of you who aren't aware. So others versus XCN. When this chart goes down, that means XCN is outperforming the average altcoin in the market, at least the coins that are outside the top 10. When this chart goes up, the average altcoin is outperforming XCN. Okay, that's how it works. Chart goes down, XCN's doing good. Chart goes up, XCN's not doing as good. It doesn't necessarily mean XCN's gaining value or losing value. It just means versus other altcoins that it's gaining value or losing value, right? I don't know how to fix this, how to get this to where this whole block over here isn't so blocky, but whatever, man, I don't care. We'll just let it be super thick, I guess. You see the width over here. So I don't know about you guys. That is a hell of a drop off here, right? This almost, to me, it seems like it is some kind of bear flag, and that you would break out. Even if it's just a horizontal trend, this kind of consolidation after a move like this is rather indicative normally of continuation. So on the day-to-day basis, we would expect XCN to outperform most altcoins. Okay, so that's good. We know that. But what about the hourly perspective? What about what's coming on this drop here? Because right now, it almost looks as though we're in this uptrend, right? And it actually does. It actually does look like we're in a nice uptrend. This chart would continue to grow. Where's it going to grow to? How high is it? It's okay if it grows. It's okay if the average altcoin doesn't drop as much as XCN. It's okay. But where's it going to go to? Let's determine that. Let's see. High to low here. I don't actually like that. Let's take this low to high. I think this low to high encapsulates the range better. Yeah. Low to high here. It's a different fib, but So we're at the 382, 618. Yeah. I wouldn't think you go above the 236. I wouldn't think you do. This is where I want to pull up that other fib now. Let's just see. High to low here. Yeah, okay, cool. I like that. The golden ratio is right there. I don't think you go above the 236. So this red line would be the extent that I could see XCN losing value versus others. How much would this be? It's about 8%, 9%. Let's just say 10%. Let's say it loses 10% of its value. Others, I suspect, will go down. Hold on. We'll make sense out of this in a second. Okay, I think others is going to go to its golden ratio. It's about a 7 to a 10% drop. So if XCN loses 10% versus others, and others looks like it's going to drop 7 to 10%, would that mean that XCN drops 17 to 20% or 15 to 20%? It's not exactly like that, but somewhere in that area. 15 to 20%, what would that be? It's a little bit lower than what I was thinking. And these are all current prices, so I don't have to, I can just measure from this price. Okay. That takes us right below 2 cents. That takes us right below 2 cents, which is fine, right? So that actually might give us more of a pronounced peak if we drop that much. I like that. Okay, so that kind of, and not only that, but from this low to this high here, the 886, the kind of last area that you would need to find support, that goes basically right where, if my math is right, if my assumptions are right about the others chart moving down and then others versus XCN moving up, this would imply that altcoins as a whole are about to drop over the next day or two. They're about to drop a little bit. XCN is going, this chart's going to gain value versus XCN, so XCN will drop a little bit more. Applying those percentages, adding them together, coming to a price range that would make sense based off of that from the current price, it literally goes to the area that I've basically been expecting we would go this whole time. I will admit I did not think that we'd go below 2 cents. I was accepting it as a possibility, right? We talked about it several times, but I really did think the 786 would hold, and maybe it does. But I'm much more convinced now than I was at the beginning of the video that we will truly go to this range here. Even with that being said, I want to be clear, I'm going to buy here. I'm going to be buying in that range. I'm very confident we go in this range, but I'm going to be buying here. Why? Because most of my XCN bags that I bought were below even what the current highest price is showing on the, or the lowest price is showing on the charts, right? I bought way down there. So I don't need to be greedy. I'm just trying to get in for the next pump with a little bit of money in the short term. If it goes down, whatever, it's still going to go up afterwards. You know, that's the whole plan. I just want to get in. If you want to DCA, you know, that's up to you. Go ahead and DCA. Start. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if I was to start DCAing, I'm probably going to start. I'll just buy, straight up buy at like 2.5 cents to 2.2. Sorry, not 2.5 cents, 2.25 cents to 2.2 cents. That's where I'm going to buy. But if I was DCAing, if I had a heavier bag, something that was more set for the long term, I might start DCAing at about 2.25 and all the way down to 1.9 and just layer orders throughout there, right? I mean, it just like layer. The more orders you layer, the better off you'll be on that DCAing kind of thing. And it depends. You know, you could do equal orders throughout the whole thing. I'm not here to tell you what to do, right? You could do equal amounts of orders layered throughout this whole kind of zone. Or you could have, you know, 20% here, 30% here, and then a 50% dump right at the base there. You could do the opposite, 50% in just to get in, and then 30% there, and then 20% at the base, so you get a general 50% down here. Whatever you want to do. It could be different than that. You could have 10 orders of 10%, however you want to do it. But I'm just offering perspectives here in case anybody's looking to get in. After this, of course, the targets have not changed. They've only grown, my friends. They've only grown. We will see prices above 10 cents on this next run. I'm very confident of that. This is a very bullish phase of accumulation, okay? Anytime you pump above your golden ratio like this and you consolidate right here above it just like that, it's beautiful, man. You likely will. You'll tear through this 886. You likely will run right up to new all-time highs, or if not, to your all-time high area, which your 886 is at about 9.8 cents, so I think we will get above 10 cents. 18 cents is your all-time high. If we get above 18 cents, we do have fibs from here, from this high to low. We have fibs that line up right there with 20 to 26 cents. So anything, man, really anything in this area, that's to be expected. And I drew it a little bit lower. It should be from that part of the circle and above. Just this area. This lower area could happen. It's possible we could stop here, but likely we go above 10 cents. Anyways, that's all I got. I'm just rambling at this point, telling you guys things you already know. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.